Hey folks, Michael Daniels here with Tinkering with Tech. How is everyone doing? Glad to see everybody out there that is out there. I saw a couple people in early just leaving some comments, which is kind of cool. I just want to say this is going to be an awesome show. I can tell you that right now, just because I have had this gentleman on the show before and I just learned so much. And I just watched and it's probably this last month, I've watched so many of these videos in past videos. Just before further ado, let me just go ahead. Tech with Brett is here.
Hey, everybody.
His first name's Tech. His last name is Brett. No,
that's how it works.
I'm kidding. This is awesome, though. So glad that you said yes and you could come on. I know that you've been busy, so I'd love to talk about that a little bit. We're going to touch on that because that is a cool thing that you were able to experience, because I saw your video on that as well. Definitely. At the CES, right?
Yeah, definitely. CES is quite the ride if you've never been. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about, I tell you what, tell everybody what it is, CES, and then I'm going to do a quick thing about how we know each other and that kind of thing. But go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so CES, I think it's Consumer Electronics Show. So this happens every year. At the beginning of the year, kind of after all of the last year's products were bought during the holiday season, CES comes around and it's a place for all the companies to kind of show off what's going to be coming this year. So there's a lot of new technology, so stuff that may come out or may not come out, or it just is going to be a few months out. So it's a ton of different companies showing off the latest and greatest that they have. So this is the first year I was able to go as like a social media person to go and record a bunch of different stuff.
Right.
And so I got to see some of the newest stuff coming from Google and just a ton of other companies.
Fantastic. So that's kind of like geek heaven.
Yeah. If you like tech, you need to figure out how to get there, just because it's not just like a convention center. It's the convention center and then the next one and the next one, are part of this one convention.
But it's like touchy feely too. You get to try out stuff, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. So I try and buy a lot of products so I can play with them here, but there they have everything on the show floor and you can see it all and see really how many different products there are available out there. There are so many companies I'd never heard of, and Google says that they're compatible with over 35,000 different companies, and most of them are there promoting their products. And so I got to learn about a few that I think I'm going to start talking about more. So it's just really cool to see everything in kind of one place.
That's awesome. That's so fantastic. I just want to say hey to some of the people that did show up. I saw Sabrina. You got TR Diamond Duck, I guess. Geeks on Tour. Dave Gatton, hello. Andrew, Mike, Mia Voss, Ross. Got lots of people out there. Modern Day Tech, how are you, sir? Mark Barris. Yeah. Got all kinds of people here, don't we, huh? There you go. Oh, there you go. All the suites and hotels too. There you go.
That's another cool thing about CES is I got to meet Modern Day Tech down there. We got to hang out for a minute, and it was just really cool. There's so many people down there that I won't meet here in Utah because it's freezing. No one wants to come here, but down there, everyone hangs out.
Yeah, see, that's awesome. I love that meeting in real person type thing like that too. It's so stinking cool. So, and he's going to be on the show in a couple weeks, and then Scott Peachy's going to come on next week. So we got a full-fledged geek out. That's right. So anyway, so first of all, I'm going to do a quick screen share so everybody can kind of see. I want to show folks how we kind of know each other. We know each other. We're both product experts. Okay. So if you ever need help on a Google product, you just go up at the top. You can kind of see the URL up there. It says support.google.com. And if you need help with any of these products, and there's plenty more, there's tons of them here. This is what we do. Product experts. We help people out. And this is kind of how, actually, I met you through this, Brett, mm-hmm. but also I've always watched a lot of your videos in the past. But this is kind of what we do as product experts. We answer questions inside there. So a lot of times you'll see us answer your questions, and that's kind of what we're doing there. So it's really kind of a cool thing that we do, but at the same time, it's also how we kind of come together and meet and all that kind of stuff too. So that's what we do. That's how we kind of know each other. I want to quickly I'll go back to that because I want to show your YouTube page, because I recommend and tell everyone they need to go see this. So this first one up here is that circle there.
That's me.
If you want to, yeah, that's him. That is he. And then once you're inside, it looks like this, and you can see that. Oh my goodness, look at that. You have, what is that? 243K subscribers. That's incredible. 47.9 million views. That's fantastic, dude. I'm telling you. And here are some of the latest videos. Here's that CES one that you did. I think you did some features or new features that are coming up from that.
Stuff coming to Google this year.
Love it. Love it. And the one that's I thought was really cool, and we'll talk about this too in just a second, the Nest Mini versus the Echo Dot. What you did there in that video, you folks that are out there, you guys need to go and watch that video, because the way he did that, he did a fantastic job with. So anyway, all right, so let's talk a little bit. Okay, so how did anybody that doesn't know, most people may know just because they've watched the show before, but tell us a little bit about you and how you got started doing this and how you've come along to where you are today.
Yeah, so I guess my YouTube journey is pretty long, but I'll just do the abbreviated version. So 3 years ago, actually my buddy, he's in this chat, Jimmy is promo. I met Jimmy, and he had this YouTube channel where he had like 20,000 subscribers, and I always wanted to be start making YouTube videos, and he kind of taught me that it was possible to make videos to help people and then kind of grow a little following to continue to produce content. So I saw he was doing it, so I was like, hey, I need to start a new channel, because I had a previous one that wasn't really going anywhere. So I started this new channel, started making videos here and there. And then when the new Google Home, so the original Google Home came out 3 years ago, I thought, all right, this is it. This is a brand new product. I want to tell everybody that doesn't have one of these what it's like to have one of these in your home and kind of how it works. So I got that product, made my unboxing video, and that was just really fun for me to make. It didn't like go viral or anything, but it was just really fun to kind of show how a smart home could work. And then I made another video about that called 101 Things to Ask Google Home. And that one is all about just tons of different questions you can ask a Google Home device. And I did some fun effects.
I love that one. That was so cool. I think it's one of the first ones I ever saw of yours, be honest with you.
And that was many people. That was one that kind of went viral. People got everyone was getting that for Christmas and learning what it could do. And so it kind of showed up on YouTube and as recommended for everybody. And then a lot of people saw it. A lot of people thought it was pretty funny too. The comments on there are pretty good. But that one kind of grew where I was like, hey, you know what? I think I want to keep doing this. And so then I just continued to make videos about it. And I also talk a lot about smart home stuff and smartphone stuff. So not only Google products, but I've just kind of grown and grown with all the different stuff that has been coming out lately.
Well, there's so many different ones. There's so much diversity there and a whole lot of different products. So that's understandable. And I know that Modern Day Tech, I know he does some stuff as well. He has some stuff that he does that is like Wise and some of the other ones, because there's a lot of popular ones that are out there that a lot of people are doing different things just because there are so many. It's like you said, even though Google says they can do it with 18 million, that doesn't mean it's their own product. So I think that's why there's so much out there. Yeah. And you probably learned about a lot too, just going out there and seeing what you saw.
Yeah, at CES there were a ton. I have a bunch of products sitting over here on the shelf I just haven't even been able to get to because there's a little too much to talk about, but I'll try and keep it focused on certain things. Progression. I talked about the Nest Mini, and then I got the Google Wi-Fi. I talked about that, and so
great
I try and keep it all in one.
Great segue, because I wanted to ask, if you remember, I reached out to you and I said, hey, have you set up the Wi-Fi? I'm going to get one and da. And I just did it. And you said, I've got it on the shelf. I just haven't had time to do it. But you recently did a video on it. You did one, and it's a great video. I had already purchased it just because I made the switch over, but it was so easy. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about ease of use and some of that kind of stuff and what you think of it.
Yeah, so the problem with wireless networks or Wi-Fi is it just gets too complicated. Like you have to find the SSID on the
Mhm.
device somewhere, and then you have to find this long password, and you have to figure out how to log in and change all of that stuff. With the Google Wi-Fi system, it's just very simplified. It's very user-friendly and simple to use. So Google Wi-Fi is actually a mesh Wi-Fi system, so it can take different points and then increase the Wi-Fi power within your home. So I actually have the actual Wi-Fi hub in another room. That's how my internet is working to run the stream. So it's in another room. And then, so that was my old Wi-Fi, kind of a relic now. But here's the new one. And so there's one point that that brings the Wi-Fi into the home, and then here you just plug in the other points anywhere in your home that is kind of a lower signal area, and it's able to combine the Wi-Fi to this point and adds the Wi-Fi here. So then it increases the signal. So depending on your home, if I didn't have a strong signal on the other side of my house, I could go buy another Wi-Fi point, and then it would increase that signal.
And this is why I love the pucks, because to extend that signal. Our router is downstairs in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Then upstairs, right above, I put another puck, and then the far end of the upstairs in the other bedrooms, probably overkill. I probably could have just gone with two, but since I bought the 3-pack anyway, I put the other one all the way on the other side. Now I have the old version because I got it at a reasonable price because they have the new one out.
Uh-huh. That
But
works.
oh my gosh, but the extension was incredible. I loved it. So do you know about the old and the new and what's better in the newer, or have you?
Yeah, so I actually purchased the old ones and I never had the chance to set them up. But so I just went to the new system, and some of the benefits of the new system. So if you're looking at the two, this one is called Nest Wi-Fi, and the previous generation is called Google Wi-Fi. So that's how you can differentiate between the two.
Mhm.
On the original Google Wi-Fi, those each base point can go about 1,600 square feet.
Mm.
On the new Wi-Fi, the new Nest Wi-Fi, the main hub can go about 2,200 square feet. So it has a better, stronger signal, and then each of the little Wi-Fi points are 1,600 square feet. So
Okay.
that's the first thing that's kind of different. The new one's a little stronger, looks really nice, looks more like a nice marshmallow that you can kind of just sit anywhere. It's kind of cool. Um, and then one of the other main differences is on the new Nest Wi-Fi, each Wi-Fi device or each point has a smart speaker built in. So Google Assistant is built into it. So it's kind of like having a Nest Mini built right into this device.
How smart is that? I mean,
Yeah.
that was the smartest thing. I always wondered, why have all these things laying around? Can't we combine them? And that is so awesome. I love that.
Yeah, so these are now nice enough to display in the home. That other one that I have sitting up here on the shelf, you can kind of see. But my wife would never allow that to be displayed anywhere in the house. So now that these look good, why not separate? Why not get rid of one of the devices or not have to buy a separate device where you can just have this one where then everything can be done right through here, which makes it really nice and convenient to do. And the other cool thing I really like is everything was done within the Google Home application. So all of my
Mm.
other Google devices I used through the Google Home app. The Nest Wi-Fi was added to the Google Home app. Very simple, and I can control all the settings right from there, even if I'm away from my home and I'm just on my cell phone, which is really cool.
Yep, I agree. This is a good one from Kentucky Fried. Keep sending feedback. That's all I can tell you. When will they have tech in Nest Mini? And that's something I did. I send feedback, and I gave them feedback when we had our product expert summit that we had, and I
Mm-hmm.
actually gave them feedback, and I give it feedback within the app too. One cool thing is you can say, okay, G, give feedback, and they'll say, okay, what do we need to work on? I love that feature. You don't have to type anything. I love it. As old as I'm getting, that's better. if I can just
Yeah.
if I can just speak it. But my thing is, I said to them, to the engineers, I said, can't we have a different keywords for our mobile phone? Because there's some things like mobile phone, you can do that to text, but then on your device you can't, because a lot of times if you're in your house, it triggers it and says, we can't do that right now, but we're working on it. And the problem with that is let me have a distinguishing word like OK Mobile or OK, versus OK Google. Oh, sorry. I just said everybody.
Cancel is what I say, or like,
Yeah.
yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Last night, actually, I sent some feedback, and this is one thing that would be really cool. Don't know if it's possible, but if I was at home, usually I don't want to use Google Assistant on my mobile device. So if I'm in the vicinity of my home, it should kind of just disable. And then when I leave my house, then it should enable, so that only when I'm home my speakers activate, because usually my phone or 5 things are activating at one time just because I have so many devices close together. But
Absolutely.
I thought, oh, that'd be a cool.
Feedback. That's great feedback.
That'd be cool. So anyone else wants that, send feedback as well, and then maybe it will work.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you, people that don't realize this, and I know I've done 2 shows on this, and I actually did a quick tip on this. Send feedback. Feedback works. I know you don't think so, but it's in numbers. When they get a lot of one thing or another, when you send a lot of feedback, and they don't know who it's coming from. I have a list that I have daily feedback that I send, and I just copy paste and send it. I do. I swear I do that.
That works.
Modern Day says, I can't wait. One hub will come with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, ZigBee. Oh, that's right. I have 12 different hubs, bridges, and gateways. That's so true. I mean, I don't have that. I don't have what he has. He's got a lot, but
yeah, I'm about there. I have about that many different
do
devices.
You really?
And one of the coolest things that came from feedback was turning on and off lights from the Google devices. So previously, if I'd asked Google to turn off the lights, it would say, okay, turning off 25 lights, and it'd turn off every light in my house, which I didn't want. So now if I ask it to turn off the lights, it will just turn off the lights in the room that it's grouped to. So this one is in the office, so it's just going to turn off the lights here in the office and not mess with all the other lights that I have set up within the home. And the same thing when I just say turn on the lights, and it will activate them and turn on just the lights here, which that's something that came from feedback. And then another part of that is it no longer says, okay, turning off 25 lights. It will now just say, or make a little sound, go
a ding. Yeah.
And it's really nice.
If you're in the room. Yeah. If you're in the room that you're in, it will ding. But if you're asking it to say, turn the upstairs lights off or whatever, or a dining room light off, it's going to tell you, okay, we turned the dining room light off. But if you're in that existing room, it just dings. I love that. Great. One of my favorite, having an upstairs, downstairs kind of thing. And my son who's home from the Army and we need to communicate with him. Hey, it's dinner time and stuff. The broadcast. Oh yeah. I love the broadcast. But anyway, let's get back on the Wi-Fi. Talk about that a little bit more. What did you find? What do you like? What do you dislike? Because I always like to do that too. Find a couple things that you really, probably your favorite and probably your worst. We'll just go. And again, this isn't like a review or anything like that. I just wanted to see what your thoughts are.
Totally. So some of my favorite things that it fixed from Wi-Fi of the past was my old Wi-Fi router. I would continually have to go in. It would stop working for some reason, and I'd have to go in and log in or find my login, and then go and do a manual firmware update because something broke and they found a firmware to fix it. And so I do that, and then it would fix eventually. So and that they wouldn't notify me when there was an update. It just the internet would stop working, and so I'd have to do that. With Nest Wi-Fi, it automatically pulls the updates from the internet, so it's on the latest firmware version. You don't have to do anything. Just keep it plugged in like you're always going to have it be, and it automatically has the update, which is super convenient.
Absolutely convenient. That's so awesome. I love it. Okay, go ahead next.
And so then the next thing is just being able to see everything within the Google Wi-Fi application. So I kind of mentioned that before, how it's all controlled in the Google Wi-Fi app. Well, now I can test my internet speed in there. I can see what devices are pulling down the most data right now, and I can set like a priority. Let's say I only want my Chromecast back here to have the most data because I'm watching a movie. I can set it as priority over all the other devices in the home. And then I can even go in and see how much data is being used from each device. And one other really cool part with that is you can group the different devices you have within your home, and you can pause the data on those devices. So I've set up a kids devices group. And so at any time, if my kids aren't turning off the TV or whatever, I can actually ask my Google Home to pause the kids group, and it will then pause the Wi-Fi on those devices without me having to pull open the app or anything. And they're like, "What's happened? Why is it spinning?" And they give up and they go out inside and play.
That's so awesome. I love that. That's fantastic. No, those are amazing. The other one I'll add, just because I've recently got it, is the guest part. You don't have to give your Wi-Fi password. They can have their own for the guests and set it up differently. Love that.
And one thing I figured out with that, if you have like the Nest Hub Max, you can just go on the Nest Hub Max and go into the home view settings at the top, and there's a Wi-Fi. And any guest that's in your home, they can just scan a QR code, and it instantly logs them onto the Wi-Fi without you having to tell them some complicated password or something.
Exactly.
It's just really instant. So
That's
those work really great with each other, having the Hub and the Nest Wi-Fi.
What about maybe something that's not that great that you felt? Do you have anything?
Something that's not that great. One of the things that they did change from the Google Wi-Fi to this version is all of the hubs no longer have a Ethernet port on the individual points. So the point only has a power cable, so you just plug it in, which is nice. You don't have to worry about routing another cable, where some people may want to have that Ethernet port available. Now, I will say that you can get a Nest Wi-Fi system, and then you can go out and get an old Google Wi-Fi point, and you can link them to the Nest Wi-Fi. So you can't, it's not like you have to use one or the other. They can actually combine together. So if you already have one Nest Wi-Fi, you could go pick up, or one Google Wi-Fi, you could go pick up a Nest Wi-Fi, and they would still be compatible with each other.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. That's great. Yeah, that's not bad
nice.
at all right, that's awesome. Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show again real quick. I want to show Brett's channel, because you can see there's a lot of playlists here too. I recommend going and watching some of these playlists, especially like on the Chromecast and some of the tips and tricks that you've done. You've got some really good ones on there, and some things there. I think that's the 101 things Google Home can do. But I think also by watching some of this, you can learn some of the things that give you those capabilities and things that you can do that really, that are helpful, I think. And I love this. You got a Lenovo Smart Display. I think you have a Max Hub, the new one, I think.
Yeah, I have it. I don't have it plugged in. Here it is. I've made a video on that. I need to make some more. But yeah, it's a great device. And that's one of the things about the Google Assistant is it can do so much. It's sometimes hard to know what it can do because there's so many possibilities. So asking it, what can you do, is a simple way to start. And then you can kind of just go from there on learning its capabilities and advancing what it can do.
And the Home app, if I'm not mistaken, the Home app also gives you the opportunity to, doesn't it have like Explore or something you can find or see?
Yeah, I think it's easiest to get to by going into the Google Assistant, and down at the bottom right-hand side, there's a little dial which takes you to the Explore, where you can search for all kinds of different things. So if you want to know about these different actions, you can learn about how to play freeze dance or all kinds of different games. There's something like Mickey Mouse Adventure. So I have a lot of kids, so that's why I know all these things. And then there's another one where they can listen to Frozen stories, so they can have the Frozen characters read them a story. So there's a lot of those types of things you can find within the Explorer section of the Google Assistant.
How awesome is that? All right, Modern Day Techie says, can the kids turn it back on, or does the voice match work for parental controls?
So now that I can't remember. That's a great question. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, we'll find out and get an answer on that. I would think that they cannot, only because since you're the home account, yours overrides that, I can't see how that would actually, you know what I'm saying? How they would actually allow that
Yeah,
for them to be able to do that. That'd be my guess.
yeah, because there's two ways you can have it automatically pause the network, and you can have
Right.
it pause by voice. If you have it automatically pause the network, you can't just unpause it by voice, which for me,
Exactly.
I wish I could, but I understand
Yeah,
why,
why?
because if it just doesn't stop, if it doesn't work, the kids would unpause it. Just
Exactly.
they're getting too smart.
Mike says, good news that my 4 Google Mesh units aren't scrap.
That is good news.
Yeah, I like Lowell Land says, I have an old Google Home and never did figure out how to get it to connect with G Suite. You know, there is that G Suite. That's a lot of, we get a lot of posts in our community about that as well. G Suite, they have not perfected that at all. Trust me.
Yeah, I use one G Suite account, and unlike my new Pixel phone, I had to take it off to get the new version of Google Assistant. So G Suite is nice, but yeah, some of those things are
It
lacking.
is. I think that the assistant and home version of stuff is literally that home versus G Suite where it's driven toward the business. I mean, eventually maybe it'll come around, but I know that they've geared it 2 different ways, I think. And that's
Right.
my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion there. I don't know that. Connect says, will they ever add a color wheel for the Google app? Okay.
So I do have an answer to that. Let me pull that up. If we'll see
Yeah.
if we can do this
Okay.
live.
All right.
See if it works.
That's fine. Good question. You guys ask your questions if you have any out there. Hey, Tinkering with Tech community, we have a community where we do a bunch of different stuff like this. We have all kinds of stuff that we do. Feel free to join for a month, see if you like it. We'd love to have you on. Just a little promotion for myself while you're setting that up, and then we'll get back over there. But yeah, I do daily tips. We have a monthly workshop that we do, and some expert help like this. You guys can come in and talk to somebody like Brett who comes in after the show. Let's go right to it. Got your screen share.
Cool.
There we go.
Look, it worked. Amazing.
How
All
about
right.
that?
So here, if you're in the Google Home app, so right here, we're in the office. I can tap the office lights. And down here, because in this room, I do actually have colored lights, it's showing this color option. So I can pull this up, and then I can choose whatever color I want for the room. So I can come in here and change the lights. And let me jump back to my other camera angle here so you can see those lights actually change. So here you can see it changes the color. I can do a different blue. Here we can do a pink. So yeah, you do have that color wheel. I think that's what you're asking. So yeah, that is available if your lights support that.
The only thing I could think that maybe he's thinking of instead of that, okay, those are just color choices. A color wheel actually has where you can spin and get the 16 million different colors or whatever.
Yeah. That's a great question to request.
Exactly.
Ask for feedback.
Send feedback. Send feedback. This will be our message for everybody. Send feedback. No, I agree. If that's truly what he was after on that one. So, Mark says, Google Assistant question. When it retrieves an answer to a query, it reads the answer aloud. What is the command to stop the spoken responses? That's interesting. Why would you not? Since it's a communication thing, but maybe he just wants to ask it a question and have it come up as like something on his phone or something.
Sometimes I find when you do ask something and it keeps giving this long-winded response, right? It will, like on my Nest Hub, it will pull up the answer so I can read it. But then sometimes it will just keep going and going. So I found the best way to do that would be to activate Google again, and then say like, okay, never mind, or stop. So you have to use a second command to get it to stop talking again.
Right. Yep.
Mark that would be the best way I think works.
Yeah. You're probably right on that too.
I guess it depends. It also depends on if you have a device. Like if you're near the device, you could just tap the top and it should stop it from talking as well.
Oh, that's true.
Or tap the screen, as that should do it.
Unfortunately, mine are like across the room. I'd have to run across the room. That's me, because I like to, like you said originally, I love this, that your wife would not allow the other one, and my wife also. She allows these because they look a little bit nicer. But
I don't think I'd allow it in the home either. Her
I
and
know,
I probably be like,
yeah, yeah, it's
too.
just not as appealing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you do a lot of stuff on mobile sometimes that I recollect, right? I mean, you do some stuff. Are you doing mostly like the phone you have, or do you have like iPhone information too, or do you mostly stick to? I noticed a lot of yours is Samsung.
Yep, I mostly stick to Samsung and Android specifically. I don't or have ever had an iPhone.
Okay.
So mainly Samsung phones. I have Google has sent out some Pixels to me, so it's great to have those experiences. But they
Yeah.
work very similar. But that's kind of what I focus a lot on, how to use the phones and how they can be more productive. Because there's a lot of features in the smartphones we have, right? It's not just
Yeah.
a texting
That's right.
machine, but it can do a lot. So I do talk a
Mhm.
lot about that as well.
And actually, I don't think mobile phone, we don't even use it as a phone that much anymore.
Yeah, yeah, not
Very
really.
rarely, very rarely. One things that I've talked about this before on our show, I think it was the last show that we did actually, is Google Duo. I send video messages all
Yep.
the time because I don't like I don't, the older I get, I'm all thumbs. I would much rather sit there. You can visually see me and send you. Now, a lot of people don't answer back, and that's fine. It's just easier for me to get that message across that way. And now it's just been released. Now you can actually leave a note back to that person. So you can
Oh,
actually,
really?
yes, you can now text back. And I'm a Duo product expert, so I can finally be able to say that. But they do allow that now.
That's cool. Yeah, I find that I don't want to text; it just takes too long. I don't
Yeah.
want to send, do a video call because they might be busy or something. So sending those messages are just really quick and
Mhm.
direct. There's other apps that you can do like these really long video messages, but why do you need these really long messages? They'll ask five questions and then
I
you
know.
don't know what the answer to was to the first one. I like Duo. It's very direct.
Exactly. Yeah, it's timed for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, and you can send a voice one, you can send a video one, and you can
Hmm.
now you can send a text one too,
Oh,
or
cool.
a note. I think they don't call it text because it's not really text, but it's.
Right.
Another thing is too that I love about Duo is I don't have to know someone's phone number. I can do it email to email now. I
Okay.
love that. I love that ability too.
Do they have to already link? Does somebody have to link their account to Duo first?
They have to have a Google account. That's it.
Okay. And then
They
it'll
have to
just
have a
email it to
Google
them.
account. Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you have to have a Google account. You know what? Before I answer that and say that, I need to verify that because they might have to have a Duo account set up.
Okay.
Like you have to have the app
Yeah.
on your phone, but on the computer you don't have an app. So I think as long as they have a Google account, if they had, well, they'd have to open duo.google.com
Hmm.
to go to do it that way. So I guess it would have to be open on their computer, or they would have to have the Duo app. But I think it would send a text message to them and say, "Hey, if you'd like to join Michael in a Duo,
Right.
he's trying to send you a Duo, one of those deals or whatever." But
Right.
anyway,
Yeah, it's nice now it's available, the phone, the smart hubs. You can do Duo calls from your Google speakers and then on the web or tablets or wherever you are.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Let's see. Richard says if I video call my brother on the Hub Max, it says his number isn't good, but I know it is because I can Duo him on my phone, no problem. Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
not
great
sure what.
question.
Yeah, I'm not sure what would cause that or would be the issue on that.
Yeah, is he able to call you just fine the other way?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm wondering if he gets the call on your hub, if it shows up on the hub when it comes in. And he said yes.
Hmm.
That's probably some sort of a glitch that definitely needs. Oh, not on the hub though, just on the phone. So the hub, for whatever reason, is not receiving that. Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, there is a way you can go in and verify which devices are able to receive those Duo calls. because I have like 7 smart displays or something in my house. If somebody duo calls me, my entire home is ringing. And so now you can go into the
Specific device.
voice settings, the voice calling settings, and specify which device. So you may need to go in there and double check that the Nest Hub Max has been turned on to receive those calls.
So this is Ryder Craig says this. I know it's a silly question and I'm not thinking about doing it. I'm just curious. Can you use the Nest Wi-Fi points purely as Google Assistant and not have the Wi-Fi function set up? I believe everything has to be Wi-Fi, doesn't it?
Well, that I guess just using this like as a Nest speaker or like a Nest Mini
Assistant, yeah.
I'm not sure. Actually, I believe I read that. I can verify that to you, Ryder, but I think I did read that you could use this without connecting it to a router as just the speaker. And then, later down the road, if you want to upgrade, I think you can do that. I'll verify it for you, but that might be possible.
But doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm not reading into this right, and maybe I don't know the knowledge of it, doesn't it work over Wi-Fi?
So I guess it will work over Wi-Fi. Let me read it one more time. Can you use the Nest Wi-Fi point purely as Google Assistant and not have the Wi-Fi? So you would need to use Wi-Fi, but it can be its own.
Just
Google
act
Assistant
as an
speaker.
own assistant. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. Now that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so you would have to have some kind of Wi-Fi going on.
Yeah, you would already have to have some other Wi-Fi.
Because the system doesn't work without Wi-Fi. Trust me.
Yeah.
I've had to go out and going, what? I can't turn any lights off. Oh my gosh.
That is the one problem. Yes, Wi-Fi is definitely required.
Kentucky says, my app always says my TV is off. Even when I press the button on, it still turns it on though. That's an odd one.
Yeah, no, the complicated part there is there's so many different types of TVs, and it's hard to know which ones work properly with different devices. Like if you have a Chromecast, things work differently. Or
True. And I know some TVs, like, it depends on the smart TV, but it's some, and I can't ever remember the signal that they call it, but like the one in the living room that's a smart TV, I can turn that one on and off with my device, but my one in the bedroom that doesn't have that CES or something.
Yeah, CEC.
CEC, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
That allows it to connect to smart TVs without having other accessories other than like a Chromecast or maybe a Roku here.
Yeah, Roku, he said. Yeah, so, I don't know. Interesting. All right. I said I was going to be about 30 minutes or so. We're at that mark. If you guys have any last minute questions out there, community members, I will put the link to, you guys know the link. It's on the website. Come on in and join us. It'll be, you can come in, join, talk to Brett in person after the show here. Let me see. I'll put it right here. After the show, link is in the private community. I will also put it in the Hangout message so you guys can access and get in. Brett, I'll give you the link too, so you can join them over there in the Zoom. So we'll all go over there and chat over there because there's not enough room in here for everybody if everybody decides to come in. But thank you so much. I hope you come again, because let me tell you, that was pretty awesome. And I learned a lot of the stuff that you do, and I love watching your videos. And seriously, you guys go out there. There's two things. Watch the one playlist where he has all the things about the different thing. That is so cool. The other one is I swear it is. It's awesome because you're going to learn a lot.
Hopefully it helps. That's all.
Yeah.
That's my goal. So if it doesn't, let me know.
That's right. But also, I mean, the other thing cool is you got to watch that one where they do the Nest Mini versus the Echo Dot. When you in Dial, is that right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Dial Home Tech's his channel.
Yeah, when you guys do your collaboration, it's really, really cool. You need to check that out, you folks that are out there. Absolutely. I mean, it was very well done. And like you said in the pre-show, you said, wow, it was a little, I learned a lot. and we always do whenever we're doing this stuff. So
right.
Community members, thank you. Anybody that wants to become part of the community, inside this description here, you'll see the link to join our community. We'd love to have you come on, even if it's just for 1 month, and just try it out and see if you like it. That'd be awesome. I got to tell you, Brett, I really do appreciate it. And I'm sure, hopefully you'll be back soon. Like I said, Modern Day Tech will be here. Here he is again later on. He'll be in a couple of weeks. I got Scott Peachy next week. So thank you again. And I'm sure I'll have you on again, because I'm sure there'll be something, because it's always changing.
Always.
then we could bring you on and talk some more. But I do want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Will do. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you for joining, and we appreciate you. And we will talk with you next time. Thanks a lot, folks.
See ya.